Hi, I'm standing here with Numb Toes in Vancouver, Washington. My name's Tim Rajeff, and I'd like to show you Airflo Scandi Compact shooting heads. As the name implies, compact means they're very short. These lines range from 29 to 34 feet. And in the old days, when I first got started in this business, a short line was about 50 feet long. So we're talking about stuff that's much more condensed. That makes your job to make D-loops and casting much easier. It also means you can be tied up against the bank with very little D-loop or backcast room and still make a wonderful functioning cast. Airflo heads in the Scandi Compact series are 29 to 34 feet long. At the light end, they're 240 grains. That means you can use them like with a 4 or 5 weight spey rod, and at 540 grains, that's the line size I put on about a number 8 rod. The idea behind the Scandi Compact heads is that, again, with very little backcast room, I can throw long casts. But the idea behind that Scandi design means they tend to have longer front tapers. Well, if you have a long front taper, that means at the top of your D-loop near your rod tip, you're going to have a lot of weight concentrated. That means it's very easy to lift and aerialize the whole fly line. Well, to do that, you can use less energy, so these lines perform better over a larger range of casting skills. You don't need to be an expert to use a Scandi Compact head. Because these lines tend to lift out of the water, you need something to help anchor the line. And that's why we recommend that you use a 10-foot or 14-foot floating poly leader. Floating poly leaders are almost like mini tips, but this leader that I have here is designed to set in the water, and that's what you anchor your cast against. The cool thing about poly leaders is that they come in floating, intermediate, type 3, type 6, so you can throw a couple extra poly leaders in your pocket to maybe help you fish not only on the surface but down below the surface a little bit. Airflo Scandi Compact heads come with a loop coloring system such that if I have a 360 grain and a 510 grain line, I can tell which line is which simply by looking at the color of the loop. The heavy duty loops, they're bulletproof. They last forever and you'll never have any problems with them. They don't cut into the leader. Awesome loop system. At the back of this head, I have Airflo puts a black loop system such that now in low light conditions I can easily see the junction between the fly line and the running line. So that just allows me to strip in until that junction is right near the rod tip. That's where I know I need to stop to make my next cast. The two most popular running lines for this style of head are a 30-pound test floating ridged running line from Airflo or a 20-pound test ridged running line. And that 20-pound test line is really popular for 6-weight, 5 and 4-weight spey lines. And once you get to about 7 or 8 weight, that's when you're going to want to bump up and use 30-pound test. Both the head and the running line have low stretch cores, which means when you make your cast, they're smoother. And then also when you go to set the hook or you feel a grab with the spey line, these lines, boy, you're really connected. So when you're all rigged up, again, you don't need to be an expert caster to use these Scandi Compact heads. With their condensed design and the weight focused near the rod tip, anybody can make a good cast. So thanks for your time, and remember, Airflo Scandi Compact heads are the best floating line you can buy.